Other game. Oh, okay. Sorry, we're back. And let us continue. Why would you want to visit someone like me, huh? Don't you have anything better to do? Oh, it's you guys. Sorry about that. That's alright. I'm glad you're back. This cell isn't exactly fun. Not that it's scary, or anything. It's just boring, that's all. Sure, if you say so. Alright. We got a lot to talk about, son. Oh, that's like a badge, huh? Ha, not like I care about some silly badge. It's cool, though. I like it. Thanks? Oh, I think we've seen that one before, but... Okay, our investigation. So, how dead am I tomorrow? Dead? You're not dead at all. We have lots of good leads, right, Paulo? Yeah, of course. Besides, even if things were horrible, these guys could pull off a miracle. That was one of the best lawyers in town, right? Of course. I'm not one to play with fate, son. I'm not one to play with fate when so much is on the line, after all. I take such matters as seriously as I select my blends of coffee. I think the latter's more important to you. Yeah, that sounds right. I'm less important than coffee? He, really likes coffee. Trust me. Really? I bet he has more coffee than water in his body. Right, Godot? It's true. You and your mouth, kid. You'll be in good hands tomorrow, trust me. Of course, it's not like I'd hire you guys if I wasn't. You guys have a rock-solid plan for tomorrow, surely. Yeah, of course. They don't need a plan. Don't say that in front of our defendant. You've done fine with that one before, haven't you? Ignore their chatter. If you let every errant word wedge its way into your heart, it'll break into pieces. Yeah. I knew that. Is there anything else you guys might need to know for tomorrow? I'm here, so, you know. Well, one thing comes to mind. Evidence! Mr. Hart, there is one more thing we found out today that, wasn't great. Police found this bullet casing at the crime scene. Do you recognize it? Yeah, obviously. I see those every time I fire my gun. Which is often, just so you know. But... What? They're for my own particular brand of ammunition. Though, I have no idea how one of those got in the crime scene. Have you fired your gun recently? No, not for a while, but I always have to carry it when I'm on duty. So the police would have found the gun on you? Yeah, they have it right now. Well then, fortune might just be in our favor, but it all comes down to how much bitterness you can endure. Do you keep your gun loaded at all times? Having a loaded gun kind of makes me nervous. So I usually just carry a few rubber bullets on me and, you know, load them when tensions are getting high. Of course you do. Sorry, I know your shtick by now. I should have expected as much. Well, how would having the bullets loaded matter? If the gun was always loaded, we could prove that the gun was fired. I'm pretty sure it's because of the number of chambers in the gun. If the bullet was missing, the police would know for sure if it was fired that night. How many chambers does your gun have, by the way, Dean? One. I requested it so, it wouldn't accidentally, you know, shoot people? How does this man do his job? Oh, don't be mean. I mean, it's an amusement park. It's not normally a place where you'd expect to find heavily armed security. It's a scary glare. That's enough for security, right? If he can maintain it. Not you two! They're kind of right. No, they're not. Don't let them walk all over you. Sorry. Wait, no, don't apologize either. Well, what am I supposed to do? Well, at least we got some info on the gun the police have. That is certainly a gun. Well, kid, I think that's all we might be able to get our hands on today. Think you're tough enough to handle tomorrow, or will I have to lead the defense? I'm more than capable of handling a case, thank you very much. Ah, maybe I'll leave it all to you then. Oh, is that how it is? What do you think about that, Maya? I say we don't let the old man do any slacking. Calm down now, it's just a joke. So, you guys are leaving then? Something wrong? Oh, no, it's not a problem. It's lonely in those cells, isn't it? I don't know what put that idea in your head, but if you want to stay a little longer, I could care less. Gotcha. Wink. I'll stick around a little longer then, but I think you should let your lawyers get ready for your case. You don't have to stay if you don't want to, Pearly. No, I'll watch you guys. Maya, he's our client, but you don't need to go this far out of your way. I came all the way over from Curain. I might as well be useful to everyone. Oh. You were plenty help already. That is actually true. Well, yeah, but those little holding cells are awful. What a little conversation hurt. Does she usually take to people this quickly? It seems like it. Alright, come back to the office when you guys are done. We'll see you three later then. Later. Farewell, Mr. Justice. Don't let me down tomorrow. Please. Of course not. Leave it to us. Alright. Deep breaths. Just a bit longer to the trial now. Fix your face. Look confident for your client. He'll be here soon. Got it. Apollo Justice and I'm fine. Today will be fine. Oh, someone's coming. Right. Here goes. Hey, pal. Oh. Deflated. What's with that face? Are you expecting someone else? It's fine, Gumshoe. What prompted you to swing by? You best put in a request to have this made before the trial. We just got a few copies back. Thought you might like to have one. Here, take a look. That's handy. Oh, actually in there yet. Thanks, detective. Duh? What am I looking at here? Boxes, vent, chair, bullet. Sure. Not a problem, pal. Oh, Detective Gumshoe? I, don't think I want to be at the defense's bench today. Pearly? Don't think I'll be very helpful. Can you, when you're done testifying, can you sit with me in the gallery? Just in case? Yeah, of course, pal. I'll make sure my testimony is done lickety-split so I can come join you, alright, Pearly? No worries. Thanks. Pearly doesn't want to be alone. Pearly is still recovering from being accused of murder. Last time? Alright, then save a seat for me, pal. I'm gonna get back to Sebastian. See you guys in a bit. Are you sure about this, Pearly? You'll be alone for a little while, you know? Why not come join us at the bench? Could be fun. I'm sure, Mystic Maya. Right this way, sir. I know where I'm going. Ah, Dean. Hey. You ready for today? Of course, why wouldn't I be? Not like I'm doing anything anyway. I have to leave my fate all up to you. So, you'll be doing your best, right? Ah, like you even need to ask. You said it yourself, leave all the sweating to us. I've been to hell and back, so I can take the heat. No problem. Whoa. Someone's trying a little hard to impress his client. tell me about it. So what? He's fallen for it hook, line, and sinker. Can't argue with what works. Sadly. Oh, Dean. This is the some of that musical you were talking about yesterday. Oh, yeah? The, dark and scary one? Yeah, that one. Wink. Over the couch. I want to talk about the song, the end of Act 1. Oh, I love that one. Well, between Maya and the metaphors, at least our client's in a good mood. We can't fail this kid. I'm not failing them again. I won't allow it. Hey, you're supposed to be the confident one, remember? Huh. Should we go over the case one more time, then? Well, since you're in the mood to review, sure, why not? Alright. So Godot's full stop serious here. We can't I'm not gonna fail them again. So obviously we have Sebastian's past case that got dropped. We have whatever happened with the Fae Law Office and Mia way back when, which Godot was obviously involved with. And the incident that sort of sent Godot down his path, just coasting on by, doing the bare minimum of lawyering and mentoring and the like. And in the process of us helping Maya and Pearls last time, we collectively brought Godot back into the real world of lawyering. And now Godot's back full stop. Obviously Godot, whatever happened in that inciting incident, obviously Godot failed the phase in some way and shut down after the fact. And now that he's back in the game, he doesn't want to fail them again. It's, oh God! Loud. Court is now in session for the trial of Billy Dean Hart. Defense is ready, Your Honor. And the prosecution? Need you even ask, Your Honor? Have I ever not been ready? Sure there were, a few times. What, any you can remember? I guess not. You can say the same of me, you know? You only had like 3 cases, Bob. Can we now? The first time doesn't count, and you know it. Honestly, come on. Ooh, is there some drama I'm missing out on? Well, it says to me like both of you are more than prepared for the case. Certainly. Seeing how talkative your co-counsel is already, Mr. Justice. Your opening statement then, Mr. DeBest. Why, of course. Our story begins, as most here often do, in the seemingly most innocent and unlikely of places. While one of our local theme parks, Whimsy World, may seem like a place for joy, until 2 days ago it hit a dark underbelly. While innocent parkgoers may have thought they were in for a fun time, if they chanced a risky phone call on the premises, they were in for anything but. Whimsy World was the very center of operations for a mass blackmailer. He's really trying his best to set the scene, isn't he? It's almost cute. That's one way to put it. Of course, this could only go on for so long. Eventually, someone would have to do something about this blackmailer's schemes. And who would have a better opportunity than one of his own co-workers? No longer wanting to be blackmailed, our defendant Dean Hart set up a trap for his own co-worker. Criminal or not, our victim, Fred Quincy, has still been murdered. There's no doubt it was a murder. If I may call Detective Gumshoe to the stand to enlighten us as to his scheme. Ooh, this case sounds very interesting, Richard Best. Why, of course. Is there anyone better than the Best to set the scene? I can think of a few people I'd prefer. Well, I'm sure you're the only ones I prefer them, given your tasted words. Oh, are big words a little too complicated for you, prodigy boy? No. The whole courtroom has to understand an opening statement. He's got a point. Let's just call the good detective before we get too distracted. Thank you, Your Honor. Witness, your name and occupation. Detective Gumshoe, pal. Homicide. I've been handling most of the information about the murder since it happened. You know, since the rest of the police are busy with the whole mass blackmail thing. Ah, so you should be more thoughtful than usual. Yeah, I bet I know more than anyone else in the department. But maybe don't grill me too much, pal. I have someone waiting on me up in the gallery. I know. We'll try to make this quick, Detective. Well then, if you can tell us what you know. Whoosh. Murder at the castle. Mr. Quincy was working in that cursed castle place's audio room in the day of the murder. The defendant was meant to be patrolling the attraction. Instead, he entered the audio room with dry ice. Arthur threatened the man with his gun, fired a warning shot to scare him. He assumed with Quincy scared and at gunpoint, he was able to get the dry ice in the vent unchallenged. And he left the room and used a sealant on the door so Quincy couldn't escape. Quincy still tried, though. He called out the defendant through the audio system, yelling to be let out. Luckily, a witness of ours caught Hart trying to escape, ignoring his call for help. I see. Cursed Castle, huh? Sounds like quite a scary attraction. I bet it was doubly so that day. Maybe they could use those recordings the victim left them as new sound effects. Yeah, sure, just use a dying man's last words in your amusement park. I don't see any problems with that. It would be pretty horrifying, you gotta admit. Pretty unethical. Yeah. The defendant ignored the recordings. Well, this seems like quite the open and shut case. The court should be aware that our defendant, he claims he lost his hearing that day. Is that so? Convenient, isn't it? Yeah. The defense still has the right to cross-examine the witness, right? Yes, that's true. We're going to have to sow some doubt early if we want to keep this trial going, kid. I'm sure it'll be no problem for veterans like us. Come on, let's do this, Paulo. Together. Someone's excited. Right, I'll, figure something out. Hopefully. Let's figure something out, hopefully. That cursed castle. Detective, this is a court of law. You're gonna have to be more specific than that. Come on, you know what the place is. Well, I don't. It's just a haunted house is all, Your Honor. Or, I guess, a haunted castle. And what is it called? Count Kaspar's cursed castle. I'm not good at tongue twisters, pal. I figured that was why. Count Kaspar's cursed castle. Yeah, that's the one. Nice job. Yeah, good job, Your Honor. Why, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm quite good at tongue twisters. Hey, that was my compliment to give. Do you have any idea where he got the dry ice from? Yeah, pal. You investigated the crime scene, didn't you? Who do you take us for? What did he get the dry ice for? They didn't answer that question. Right, well... It wasn't set up at the time, but do you remember that cauldron in the castle? It does more than glow, pal. When the place is fully set up, there's usually dry ice set inside of it. So they keep a decent supply stored near the castle for whenever they need to set things up. Considering the defendant's worked as a security guard there for a few years now, I would be surprised if he knew where to get some. We also found evidence of some sort of plastic container the defendant could have used to transport it to the crime scene. Right, these plastic bits here. Thank you, Detective. Did your witnesses not hear the gunshot? The room's meant for audio work, so it's pretty hard for sound to get in or out. And our one witness that was in the attraction was already on the complete other side of the place. The culprit knew what he was doing when it came to guns, pal. He was smart enough to take the bullet itself from the crime scene. All we've got is the blank. Oh, even without ballistic markings, it's pretty clear whose gun it belonged to. Does Mr. Hart really have to carry bullets that are so identifiable? That's quite a lot to do, though, isn't it? A defendant doesn't have 4 hands. You have to move the box over there and unscrew the vent without the victim getting away. Those are normally 2-handed jobs, but doing them with only one would be a hassle. So how was he able to keep his gun pointed at the victim the whole time? You have to at least put down the dry ice. Well... Let me handle this, Gumshoe. Take that. Ah! It's just evidence, Mr. Justice. Jeez, Paulo, calm down. Why would you like me to point it at you? Exactly. As long as the defendant held a weapon, I don't think we can blame the victim for failing to act. Besides, the defendant was a security guard and far younger than the victim. Even without a weapon, I bet he's more than capable of taking someone down. I guess so? It still feels like it didn't answer the question, though, of how he got it in the vent. And unless the takeaway from that was, he didn't need to have the gun pointed at him the whole time to do it. Have the police figured out what the sealant was yet? No, but we've sent a sample to forensics, and the account from our witnesses makes us pretty sure it was some sort of sealant. I mean, it'd have to be. Who knows? Maybe he wasn't trapped maybe he wasn't trapped at all. Maybe the man decided to finally let his sins consume him. It's tiring to keep them hidden for so long. Is this wisdom from our local man from hell? Skew my words however you like. I owe you plenty anyway. Some of the things you say are really concerning, you know that, right? What do you have to be concerned over? Should we talk later, Godot? I don't think that's necessary. Right, sure. I feel like we're kind of building up to Godot raising the issue of whatever happened between them. The way Godot's been talking. Sort of like Godot raising the issue of their shared past, leading into the final case. Anyways, back to this case. Are you sure it was the defendant's name, he said? Want to hear it yourself? No, thank you. I'll listen for you if you like. Sometimes such things are necessary. Oh, are we doing majority vote? You guys don't honestly want to listen to that, do you? Why? Am I the only one who doesn't want to hear a man literally dying? Oh, I'm just teasing, Paulo. I vote no, Your Honor. All right, we'll take your word then, Detective. Thanks, pal. That was Miss Molly Turing? Turning? Ah! How come you always know about all our witnesses, pal? That's not fair. I'm pretty sure that is fair, actually. Those who live to scorn the accomplishments of others die wondering why nobody cared for theirs. I'm not scorning you. I'm just sick of your guys being so good at my job. You're gonna play detective and then at least be a detective, pal. Sounds like scorn to me. I just want to feel like I'm hiding something important. Just this once. Oh, Gumshoe. Well, there it is, Paulo. That's the argument we're about to bust to pieces. Well, when you say about to... Yeah, I might be being a little generous. We're never that good. Hey! You only seen me work one case! Oh, come on, you practically invited me to say something like that. I kinda did, huh? Can't blame her. Yeah. I feel like we present the gun. Objection! False! Your Honor! Yes, Mr. Justice? He's building dramatic tension. Give him a chance. Is he now? Any second now. It's gonna be a huge turnabout. I appreciate the support, but you guys are just making this worse. Your code council worked so hard to buy you time, and you can't even use it. What a shame, Mr. Justice. Sorry, guys. I don't know what to make of that. Okay, this is one of these answers that we're probably gonna figure out why it's the answer once we actually present it as the answer. We're gonna present the diagram of the crime scene that we got. Because he's scared and at gunpoint, he was able to get the dry eyes in the vent unchallenged. I don't know why we're doing this, but this is what works. Detective, I would think you of all people would know what the crime scene looked like. What? Of course I know what the scene looks like, pal. What are you getting at? Naturally, you should be able to tell us our defendant's movements as well. That's not a problem, is it, Detective? You're gonna make me say something stupid, aren't you? Here, go ahead, use this diagram. Well, first the defendant came in the door. Pretty safely assumed the victim was at his seat the whole time. Mr. Hart fired a warning shot. And which direction did he fire it in? They fired it towards the victim. From where the bullet blank was introduced. Would have ended up around here. When the bullet blank was discovered. Let me remind the court of one of the central facts of this case. We weren't able to connect the gun to this crime because only a bullet casing was left, not a bullet itself. Yeah, pal, after the dry ice was put in the vent, the culprit picked up the stray bullet. I get what you're getting at, but... wait. Exactly. You said that a victim didn't act because he was threatened at gunpoint. Given where the bullet was. Mr. Hart would have to walk right past the victim in order to pick up the bullet up. Okay, no matter how much you try to snuff it out, there will always be a part of you that wants nothing but to keep your heart beating. Detective, are you honestly telling us the victim didn't take a chance to save his own hide? It takes a lot of courage to just attack someone, pal. You didn't need to attack him. All the victim would have needed was for the culprit to redirect his gun for a few moments. He could have made a break for it. If someone was pointing a gun at me, I'd take any chance I could to get away from them. So if our culprit had to pick up a bullet, you bet I'd try to at least get away. Objection! I thought if our culprit was unarmed. Nothing was stopping Mr. Hart from keeping his gun trained on the victim. as he walked over to retrieve the bullet. He only needed one hand to pick up a bullet, after all. That's not possible. What, picking up a stray bullet with one hand? I assure you it's very possible. Just how coordinated are you, Mr. Justice? I'm perfectly coordinated, thank you. Not the act of picking up a bullet I'm referring to. No, this is why he couldn't threaten the victim. He only had one bullet. There's no way he could have continued to threaten Mr. Quincy. Our client's gun only has one chamber. One chamber? What kind of gun is that? Dean's, very insistent on the secure part of security, Your Honor. More paranoid than secure, really. The point is, he couldn't have continued to threaten him at gunpoint as he retrieved the bullet, because he'd already used all of his rounds. Objection! And how would our victim even know that? As far as he knew, that gun had at least 2 more shots in it. A one-chamber gun isn't exactly normal. Objection! The victim was a mass blackmailer. It's not hard to imagine he'd know plenty of details about his co-workers. Objection! Just because he was a blackmailer doesn't mean he knew every little thing about his victims. Not like your client would mention how many rounds his gun would carry over the phone. It's completely possible he just bluffed it so the victim would cooperate. Objection! Have you seen our client, Mr. DeBest? Does he seem like a good bluffer to you? But Apollo, he's listening! Does it really matter if it saves his hide, Maya? Objection! Good bluffer or not, the man was still staring down the barrel of a gun! Order! But my point. Here's how I see it. Well, it's a little suspicious our victim didn't fight back. It is also fairly reasonable to say he wasn't thinking clearly given the situation. Suspicious? Reasonable? We can fight over this matter all day, but I don't see how it will progress the court's argument. With that in mind, I'm sure the prosecution has had more of a case planned. I wouldn't mind hearing it if you've had enough squabbling. Ah, that I did, Your Honor. Well then, why don't we hear what else you have to say for yourself? Of course. What about my contradiction? It still counts for something, right? Going to be so glum, kid, at least don't make it obvious. Hey, at least his honor isn't entirely on the prosecution side. Hey, both sides valid. You know, like usual. You got that little bit of doubt, but you need to keep going, right? I guess. The prosecution would like to call its next witness to the stand. Detective, you're dismissed. Okay. Straight to it. Hey, here we go. Witness, your name and occupation, if you'd please. Hi, Molly. Witness, you were asked a question? No likelihood she's asleep again, Your Honor. Again? This looks like a job for a local Apollo. Huh? Come on now, show the court those pipes. But... You're completely right, Miss Faye. Go on now. Are you sure? Don't keep us waiting. Miss Turning, good morning! It's technically afternoon, you know. Ronnie Turning, Brisbane Park engineer. Yeah, you heard my question after all? Nah, I just know how this works. Well, regardless, Miss Turning here was the one who found both the defendant and our victim. More cadaver than victim at that point. Yeah, that. Are you okay, Miss Turning? You don't seem to be in your best form for the trial today. Haha, I'm never at my best form, Your Honor. I'm sure Mr. Godot could spare a coffee and it would help you. I don't want anyone passing out in my courtroom now. It's happened far too often, to be honest. It's never too late to give in to the dark beckons of a boiling brew. Nah, LaForge, don't get me started with that stuff. Well, if you're confident you can get through your testimony, we're waiting to hear it. Right. Gotcha. Let's get this over with. Already? castle's new voice. I was supposed to be working on upkeep for the castle that day. But I was working on fixing it was pretty far from the little audio room. I remember being practically tangled up in wires when suddenly that audio effect came on. I knew the voice in a heartbeat. It was Quincy's, for sure. I never heard his voice so loud and desperate. Almost got a kick out of hearing him like that, to be honest. I figured it'd probably be a good idea not to ignore something like that, so I made my way over there. That's when I crossed paths with Dean. He was walking away from that audio room. Oh. I see. And you came across the body after that. Yep. Dragged Dean along with me and found the dead guy. Tell me, Your Honor. Ooh, but a cold-hearted murderer would actively walk away from the scene from the pleas at the dying. Well, to be fair, a lot of people hated the guy, so... Objection! We should ask for your input. Isn't that kind of why I'm here? Either way, you've got to admit, it's incriminating. Yeah, I guess I'll give you that. That's why we're here, after all. Well, the forge, antennas. You gotta get to it, you gotta be dozed off again. Oh. Don't worry, I'll make sure to keep you in the world of the waking with the rest of us. Sleep won't siphon away your time in this world any longer. Not while we're in the courthouse. The law never rests, huh? Oh, poor law. Give the lady a nap. Yeah. The castle's new voice. Right. Is there any way someone could have known about your shift in advance? Do you have a routine or a schedule? Well, the boss knew what I was doing. Anyone else? Maybe. Maybe? I don't keep track. I don't exactly go around telling my work schedule to people, but if they figure it out, they figure it out. I have a problem with that? No, of course not. It's just kind of inconvenient for us, is all. Oh yeah. Hey, don't call her out for telling it like it is. Yeah, Apollo, get off my case. I'm sorry? What exactly were you fixing? Is this part of the ride where, like, the Count's supposed to trap you in the basement of his castle? And so once everyone goes down the stairs, they become... you know? No, I don't. You mean like when the stairs go flat and they're too steep to climb up all of a sudden? Yeah, that. Maya knows her horror tropes. Well, some idiot tried to run up those mid-transformation, nearly smashed his foot. Oh. I ended up having to get under the stairs to fix things up. Does that violate some sort of safety protocol? Maybe. Point is, that's what I was doing at the time. Tangled up in wires? So, you're saying it took you a while to get away from what you were repairing? Yeah, that's the general idea. How long exactly? Well, 10-ish minutes, I think. Wasn't just wires you were entangled in that day, Miss Engineer. But then again, I think we're all tangled up in more than just the physical world around us. We didn't ask for your input, LaForge. I love her. Did any of us ask to be brought into this world? A single will isn't enough to change the nature of things. You all seeing this guy? Such a tryhard. Tryhard? Don't tell me that's not the usual reaction for you in the Forge. I mean, not really? That's sad. Yeah, I know. I knew the voice in a heartbeat. It was Quincy's, for sure. Alright. You knew his voice that quickly? Well, yeah, we were co-workers, and it was fairly common to hear his voice in the park's intercom. You know, like when we need to make an emergency announcement. Emergency announcement? Like, when a kid gets separated from their parents and stuff like that? Yeah, that's a general idea. I usually had to watch the kids, though. Quincy was awful with them. Someone looks a little too proud. I know more about amusement parks than you. Ah, yes, the most helpful of knowledge. Well, right now it is. She's not wrong. That's awful. He was dying. It's not like I didn't try to help, Antennas. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say that I wasn't a little satisfied hearing fear in Quincy's voice. She's not wrong. It certainly sounds like you have a motive. So does everyone else here. Forward, why don't you just go on about the darkness in people's hearts or something? Get the gallery to can it. Not like I tried to kill him. Still did the right thing, didn't I? The witness's character isn't what's on trial here. Say what you will about her disdain for the victim. Is that really more important than catching our murderer? Sebastian's right. There's always at least a few emotions to sort out after the case, aren't there? The truth comes first. We can judge her and everyone else once we've figured out this murder. Right, let's solve it then. Hey, that's a reasonable reaction. Probably? Yeah, probably. Your client should have probably figured that much out too. Well, I'm sure he would have if he could have. His hearing was just on the holiday at the time. He was able to answer the police questions perfectly fine. We call it senselessness for a reason, prodigy boy. Have you ever been deprived of your measure for the world around you? To something so essential to the seconds you spend on this earth from your very being, Some pretty poetry doesn't change the facts of the case. I imagine it would be terrifying to lose one of your senses like that, though. Maybe we are too quick to dismiss what the defendant claimed to have gone through that day. Your Honor! This is what we need explanation for. Can you describe our client in more detail? Oh, how do I put this? Imagine the most cliched possible I am patrolling posture. Straight back, eyes darting back and forth, that kind of thing. That's what he looked like when I first saw him. So, like he was overacting? Yeah. Of course, the facade dropped pretty quickly when I started yelling at him. The look on his face. And just because I think it's something the court would be particularly interested in. Which way was he going? I know what you want me to say. The audio room where Quincy died is embedded in the walls between the rooms to the north end of the ride. The patrol route is headed toward the southwest. Hold on. Save your judgment till after the cross-examination. That's one of my rules. Thank you, sir. Do you guys have any ideas about how we can answer this one? I mean, it's not like anything she saw was wrong. Dean just couldn't hear. How do we fight this? All we can do is try. You believe in his innocence, don't you, Maya? Yeah. Then there's nothing to fear. We'll see to the heart of this, no matter what. Let's not set expectations too high here. Come on now, don't sell yourself short, kid. Confidence was never a strong suit, huh, Apollo? Hey, I can be confident. Sometimes. Quincy's voice. I genuinely don't know how to answer this. I feel like... This is just a shot in the dark, but...
Objection!
False. Your Honor. I've heard this one before. Okay, to their credit, this is one that I probably could have figured out if I had given it enough thought. So here, he was asphyxiating due to the dry ice. So how does his voice get so loud? Let's present the autopsy report. Miss Turning, are you sure about the voice you heard that day? What, are you gonna say it was deaf that day too? No, I think it's too late for you to make an excuse like that. I'm afraid you're going to have to come up with a different one. Because there's no way the voice you heard over the intercom was as loud as you say. Mr. Quincy was asphyxiating. I doubt he'd be able to yell so loudly when he was low on air. Okay. What? Don't okay me. That's a direct contradiction to your testimony. So? So you're lying to the court? No. She might not be. Nah. What I heard is possible. Miss Engineer, you can't just make claims without evidence in these sacred halls. Sure I can. No, we need an explanation. I mean, we're kind of forcing the issue. She can just shut it down with, I heard what I heard. You figure it out. Miss Turning. She makes a good point. If my witness isn't willing to offer an explanation, I'd be more than happy to give one. Of course you'd be. Well, I'm sure my witness isn't cooperating because the answer is so obvious. Then there's no need to brag about it. Its volume we're concerned over, this actual capacity of his voice didn't matter. As long as he sat in front of that computer. The victim was an audio editor, after all. Adjusting the volume on the sound file he used to call for help would have been easy. Therefore, it's completely possible the voice she heard that day was loud. You can't dismiss my contradiction that easily. Are you sure about that? Yes. Just because his voice was amplified doesn't mean it would sound like he was screaming. You'd be able to tell if someone has short of breath, wouldn't you? Sure, maybe in some of the later sound effects. But I'm sure he'd still have enough breath to shout in the first few he recorded. He also plays random sound effects from a queue of spooky ones. Who knows which of the calls for help was the one that first alerted my witness? I do. And like I said, it sounded like he was screaming. Now you wake up! Sorry, antennas. I stay awake for good points. My point was good. Mr. Justice, you can't grow as a lawyer if you keep lying to yourself. Excuse me? I beat you your last case, you know? Calm down now. If you're going to tell me to calm down, at least say it quietly. Well, the prodigy boy has a point. Just like you can't grow if you lie to yourself, you can't grow if you lie to the world. I think we're just making things up now. If what you say is true, you may want to stay awake a bit longer, Miss Engineer. Because you've left out a vital part of your story. Discovering the body, right in the forge. That's what you want to hear about? Why, of course. You can't judge a cup of coffee until you've downed the whole cup. Your impression can change from the first few sips to the bottom of the brew. Well, don't overheat over it. Me and the prosecutor already had that bit planned. More testimony? That's what you had? Can't afford to keep getting shut down like this. Yeah, we have to make an actual point sooner. They're gonna lock Dean up. See, more testimony is good, you two. Because if we can't poke any holes in the first two testimonies we got, any holes that stick, we need to keep getting more details until we find something that doesn't line up, that we can actually hold on to. Hey now, I'm not the one who hasn't found any meaningful contradictions. Considering you're working on this case with me, I think you share some of the burden too, thank you very much. Hey, he's pulling his weight. You're just bickering like a child, Apollo. By the way, don't get too sulky on me just yet, kid. I'm not sulking. Don't roast your beans while they're still growing. What does that one even mean? Oh, no, I don't keep you guys around because you're stupid. Are you sure about that? done anything little pep talk over there, LaForge? Oh, you were giving a pep talk? Don't leave me out. Sorry? If I may, Mr. Best. No need to ask permission, go right ahead. Alright. Let's see where this goes, I guess. Finding Mr. Quincy. I was gonna leave Dean around while Quincy was in danger, so I dragged him along to the audio room. Tried to get the door open, but even from our side it was jammed tight into the frame. Thankfully, after some fussing, I was able to get Dean to bust down the door with me. But Quincy was already face flat on the keyboard when we got in. Dean rushed over and shook him around to confirm he was dead. Between the busted up vent with the dry ice and, you know, the dead man, it was clear something was up. Took Dean with me and went to report the crime. Took us about 10 minutes, I'd say. There you go, LaForge. How did you know about the dry ice? That's testimony you were so keen on getting. See anything yet? Perhaps. But you can't discern something's true nature with just your eyes. So, no. Hey now, I never said anything about whether or not a contradiction's lingering in those words. We all know the answer's no, sir. No use pretending. Let a man dream. Oh, okay, we'll feign ignorance. Don't awe me. I need to find something, and soon. Don't worry, I've seen you do it before. One contradiction and you'll start busting this case wide open. I'm sure we can do it again. Right, and here comes justice. Here comes justice, let's do it. There we go. What exactly do you mean by dragged him along? Surely you didn't physically drag him, right? I mean, I did have to tug on his sleeve so he'd get the memo. He wasn't exactly willing to go along with me. Or that's because he killed the guy over the whole lack of hearing. Well, I think I know what the defense thinks. Oh, I was also yelling at him, and he's Dean, so there could be a column C. You yelled? You're so quick to judge me, Your Honor. Oh, I'm very sorry. You just don't seem like the type of person to yell all that often. Yeah, I don't. No? Please, let's not confuse his honor any more than we have to. Guess that's a good idea. This is curious. The seal's on the door. It's a blind spot for both the prosecution and the defense. I know what you're thinking. That info could really help us. Missing info is better for us than the prodigy boy over there, after all. Miss Turning, can you provide us any details about how the door was sealed? Any indication at all about how it was done could help the court immensely. Well, I'm pretty sure however it was sealed, it was done with a doorknob. Didn't see anything that indicated the frame or the hinges had been messed with. But I did give it that good a look. Yeah, don't exactly think about checking out the place when there's a dead man in front of you. Considering whoever tampered with it just placed the dry ice in there. It'd have to be a fast-working sealant, right? That's why it makes more sense for the doorknob to be filled with. It'd be quicker to seal than each of the hinges or the whole frame. Forensics found a transparent residue all over the interior of the knob. Eh? How does... How does that work? Get it in the gaps of the knob, and it dries and hardens, so you can't actually turn the knob, I guess? Gee, that's been pretty fast. It technically is possible. Even if the glue didn't fully congeal, Mr. Quincy led a very, not active, what is it? Sedentary? Yes, a very sedentary lifestyle. He was by no means a strong man. Physically, at least. Yes, physically. The point is, if one planned correctly, ensuring the door was shut in time is possible. I guess so. What are those details important? I need to leave here, come on. Sure. Thank you for your input, Miss Turing. the best. I know exactly how the door was sealed now, thanks to you. Oh, you do? Robert left the room before he closed the door. Used a quick-acting superglue of sorts with a knob at the frame. I mean, that is basically what we deduced. So, how does this help your climb, Mr. Justice? Just need to find out who has superglue and who doesn't? Did you really think the police didn't already try that? Wishful thinking? I wish we spent less time on points that went nowhere. I have a feeling that's just wishful thinking, too. Fair enough. Sorry. But I'll take that one. How hard was it to bust down? There are a few good whacks for the two of us, but thankfully I didn't have to take the doorknob off. Oh, Dean's pretty strong too, I guess. You probably want me to say that. Well, he is a security guard. You'd expect he'd have the billet for it. He's gotta have something to make up for his temperament. The guy may be a coward, LaForge. He doesn't have any mistakes on record like some of us do. Mistakes? You know, little things that he could be blackmailed over. You've seen the record, he's not that high-paying, is he? He's never bungled a job and accidentally hurt someone. If he had, then the prosecution would be having a field day about now. Well, if being a little skittish makes for weaker motives, she's right. We can't really be complaining. So he died in front of his computer. Well, yeah, there was still an audio file open on the monitor. Must have still been trying to alert everyone, even in his last moments. Safe to say he was probably dead before we even got to the door. He'd probably have moved if he heard us trying to bust it down. Wait, miss, don't do my job. I'm supposed to draw clever conclusions based on your testimony, not you. Wow, someone desperate. What? Desperate? I just wanted to say something. It's not like I put as much effort into my words as Mr. Godot does. Now that's desperate. Using it like it's a bad thing. Words are the foundation of the world around us. You should strive to be on my level. Yeah. Calm down, Mr. Ego. Isn't this a murder trial? Yes. Yes, it is. Dean was the one who shook the body. I was sort of surprised myself. Can't expect them to turn green before getting anywhere near Quincy. I guess he was a bit of a bastard to all of us, but a dead guy's a dead guy. Wouldn't have blamed if he threw up. Thankfully, you didn't have to preserve anything of the sort. Oh, you really wouldn't have liked that, huh? What's that supposed to imply? I mean, between the fluffy jacket and the whole conductor getup. It's a cravat! Sure, kid. I'm 25! Wait, is it not a cravat? I wouldn't know. No, hold on. This is important now, Maya. How long did you spend at the crime scene itself? Barely even 5 minutes. Not exactly fun to hang around a dead guy in tennis. So you didn't really get a good look at the crime scene, huh? Hey now, I'm an engineer, not a detective. But it does leave an interval of time where our picturesque little audio room was unattended. Picturesque isn't exactly the word I'd use, but yeah, I guess so. Considering the two of you broke the door open, you were probably the first people on the scene. But I think it's important that we hear more about your perspective on breathing in the room, the dry ice, and the body. Let's go through these one by one. How difficult was it to breathe in there? Take a guess. I think you're supposed to tell us. I mean, you guys weren't in there very long. Don't go along with her. Need info somehow. Oh, come on now, don't start arguing. It was a little hard to breathe in there, so we headed out pretty quick. It's not like the room was super thick with fog or anything. We can't exactly ignore a corpse, so we at least checked up on him. Luckily the door was open now, so we had a good amount of oxygen. There, are you happy? I guess so. You see anything we can work with, Apollo? Like something should have struck me as strange by now. That makes sense. Seems to check out for the most part. But we need to make progress. Calm down, we'll just ask about something else then. Ask about the body. The state of the victim. You were the first to find him, and you even said Dean shook the body. Yep. He maybe changed the position he was oriented in when he put him back down. Kid, let's maybe not pursue this line of questioning. This fact really does reveal something about the case. Oh, right. Our client would be the one who hit it. Never mind then. Okay, easy for me, I guess. Well then, if I could ask instead, Miss Turning. Yeah, Miss Turning. Nah. This is a court of law, miss. And I'm tired. Ask better questions next time. Next. And did you notice anything odd about our client? When you found the body and the police arrived. Well, it's Dean-based blasphemy to say this, but frightened is kind of his default state. The odd can be excused away pretty easily. Blasphemy? We all pretend it's a big secret, Your Honor. Humor him and pretend he's brave from time to time. It's easy to work with. Also kind of cute how hard he tries. That's also kind of manipulative. Yeah, personally, I'm waiting for him to figure it out. I'm right here, you know. Defendant, you're not allowed to speak out during the witness's testimony. Sorry. Jeez, can't they go back to blank the defense instead of the defendant? Maya, please be careful what you wish for. Oh, but you're used to the constant abuse. Concentrate, Justice. There's gotta be something here. Man, I kinda wish he'd dance around the truth a little more. She's very forward. It's so much easier when people are super shifty. Gotta throw her off her game somehow. Get her lying some more. Isn't that the opposite of what we want? Well, if she's involved in the crime, we don't want her to give an actually good testimony. I guess? Let's not get too frustrated, Maya. Too much fire in your heart and you're due to burn out. We don't want our local spirit medium to lose her spark, now do we? Yeah. You guys need an actual optimist with you, huh? It balances out the dynamic. Not that pessimistic, right? Just mostly. The dry ice? It sounds like the dry ice hadn't fully melted by the time you arrived. Oh, yeah, you're onto something. Guess I saw things a little differently from everyone else since I arrived first. Guess you want to hear about it. Yeah, duh. Okay. Bed to the top left corner of the audio room. The vent cover was busted off when we entered the place, lying on the desk. The police force found the same thing. Well, the covers don't normally come off on their own, so I decided to cast a quick glance up at it. I could see the dry ice from where I was standing, just a little push away from the vent opening. They've gotten pretty small by then. Must have been sitting there for a bit. Alright. Something should have struck me as strange by now. I don't know. Something strange, but might have been back at the first one. It's hard to say, being able to breathe in the room, that is. Actually, I think you're right. There's something we can work with here. Of course there is. What'd you do without me, Apollo? Miss Turning, I think there's something you forgot to consider. Oh? Something's bothering me about what you told us just now. Consider this, and I think you'll understand what it is. I don't know what this is. I definitely do not know what this is, but it's a vent. All right. Miss Turning. About the dry ice. You and my client would be one of the few people who saw it before it melted, correct? Yeah? It was in the vent, not far from the opening? It's like it had been placed there? That's where it was. There's something else you should have noticed about the vent, Miss Turning. If you were paying closer attention, maybe you wouldn't have made such a slip-up. That vent was damaged by the victim's attempts to move the dry ice. Excuse me? Tell me, why would the dry ice still be in the vent if he attempted to move it? Because he failed? If I were in a life-or-death situation, I'd move the dry ice out of the vent. Even in a panic, he had enough time to make those recordings. Surely he'd think to move the dry ice away from the ventilation of all places. He may have attempted to move it, but it's dry ice. It'd burn his hands. If he gave up so easily, then how did the vent get busted? He had to be desperate to damage the vent like that. Maybe he tried to use some object in the room. I think that let him move it without actually touching the dry ice. So he desperately grabbed something and swung it around the vent in order to move the dry ice? And he failed to move it at all? Well, he couldn't just get a grip on it, I imagine. The vent opening would be above him. He'd get severely burnt if he tried to push it straight out. It'd fall straight on his face. In that case, where's the object he attempted to move it with? Surely it'd show some sort of sign of touching the dry ice. Like his hands did. Dry ice isn't water. It wouldn't make anything wet, it's just gas. But you said yourself that it was damaged by the vent. Are you saying that whatever he used would be damaged to the slightest? My point is that it's possible he failed to remove the dry ice. That makes my witness's statement correct. And my point is that it doesn't make sense for the vent to be damaged as much as it was. Especially if we can't find an object he tried to use to move the ice. What about the bits of plastic we found? Who says he couldn't use the very container our culprit used to move the dry ice? We have no idea what that container even looked like. It certainly wasn't the sturdiest in the face of extreme cold, just looking at what remains. Are you sure he would be keen on using it, Prodigy Boy? We can't say for sure. Objection! This is the court of law, Mr. Best. We can't say for sure is nowhere near a good enough argument. Well, the defense has been pretty fond of using it in the past. That's enough. Yeah, I agree, that's enough. Done a lot of bickering and haven't really gotten it anywhere.